Yes, 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 yes. This is me, Hudson George, doing a live tonight. The live tonight is about Levera, the Levera project in Grenada. Now, my question is for some Grenadians who live in the south of the island or migrate from the rural part of Grenada to south of the island of Grenada to live down there and criticizing the Levera project. So my question for them is, do they know, or asking them the question, do they really know, or if they ever heard or see, in their life, that the area in the south of the island, True Blue, Land Sapiens, Pine Salines, all them places had wildlife once, just as Levera. You understand? So, living in those areas now, where most of them are living, that's where they live. I know they live in them area. Now, I have country book here, I don't live in them area, but I know they live there. So I know they like to sightsee in the rural, Now, Sunday, take their family and come up in the country, right? Now they see the Levera project. And they're saying, now, they're damaging the ecology or the ecosystem. Birds, turtles, whatever is there. They even catch a hand a candle snake in Batway some years ago. So I don't know, Anyway, some people say, or somebody put it there, right? Well, anyway, we know we have turtles, snakes, iguanas, migrating birds, turtle coming and lay, and all them things. And then we had the Peter on top. Now they're saying that the 2 buildings that will be built, that is being built, that are being built in the Levera project, that area is a disaster. Now I remember when I was a little boy going to Pine school trip, a city lighthouse. I remember that area. We used to go to the malt factory, the Cape factory, they give us malt. And whatever soft drink factory in the south, we might totally give you a soft drink, right? Pine Salines, I remember that. It was a salt pan, dry land. Then about 2 years later in my life, 3 years later or 2 years, I went to Expo 69. I was a little bit bigger now, small boy still. I saw in the Tubular area, mule, horse, donkey. Down there had a lot of sugar apple, man. Sugar apple. And all them things. The lighthouse was still there. And there were nature, birds and so, right? Okay. Then later on, you had School of Medicine started. Now it on St. George's University. All right. So that's a build-up area. Former Prime Minister Eric Matthew Gary brought St. George's University to Grenada. Then we had a massive project after that. The Maurice Bishop with the Cubans, they built this big airport, they showed on mountains, the Cubans and them. They interfere with the salt pan. Down there was dusty when you passed down there was dust, right? Until the project finished, right? Now down there is the hot spot of Grenada, the economy of Grenada. Whilst in the north of Grenada, we must survive on agriculture, economy and fishing and so. And who get remittance money from the family abroad in North America and Europe. Now you Southerners come up, so you're saying the project is no good. The project is no good. I know most of all you remember when before the airport bill in Pennsylvania, you know how the area was. There was wildlife there, man. The salt pan, migrating birds, just as Levera. Maybe not as much turtle used to come there and lay. But I'm sure turtle still come in Pennsylvania and lay. And all them little enclaves in Calivini and Woburn and all them places. But not as much as in Levera. Right? We know that. But I believe the turtle going to still come back and lay in Levera. Now, you make all the nice. Now, we get 3 major hurricanes in Grenada. Emily and Ivan hit us up so in the north. Some northerners say Ivan was bad, but when Emily come, it affect us even more in the north with rain. So people lose the nutmeg plantation 2 times. Right? Now, if you're talking nonsense, tell me. Then things that bumps in back in the north again, we get buried last year. Okay. Now, based on what I heard about the Levera project, I understand they might have a little marine land there too. When I say marine land, place for boats to come in and so. Now, and they go out the 2 biggest buildings in Grenada. Right. I heard about them and I see pictures. I'm a northerner from St. Patrick too, but from Hermitage. Now the question to you southerners who coming up. Do you know that they say that people in St. Patrick and St. Mark parish, they are not recorded as people who are working, but that don't mean they don't work. Most of them work, perhaps they work for themselves. But in terms of creating industrious employment beyond agriculture and fishing, there is no other jobs up there much for people, as is in the south. So if they didn't develop the south where all the wildlife, just as in Levera and Batway, how the south will have become the economic hub of Grenada? With all the wrangling now with the United States and Grenada, with all this politics, and now you see down in Venezuela, I heard on the news they were saying 53% of tourists coming to Grenada are coming from the United States. Right? Now, we in the north, are we not Grenadian? So why is it you're happy to live in the south in these developed places where what you call the destroy the ecosystem, the ecology, and all them things? You're happy to live there. But when you come in the country, you're saying, leave it so. But why you going to live there? You should protest and say, well, I'm not living in those areas. Yeah. Right? It's like, I now see on the news a tennis player, a female tennis player, refused to take some kind of athletes that get deal to advertise things for companies, and so she get it with a with some company that deal with agriculture products like farming. I don't know if they does manufacture stuff from what they get from the plantation. But she refused the the endorsement from this particular company because she's saying that that company doesn't pay the workers good. They exploit workers, so she don't want to be a athlete promoting them on the international thing, advertising them. Even though she gonna make money too, she turned down some millions of dollars, right? Why don't you do like them? Take out, don't live in Penicillin and Grenadians and True Blue and Lansapine and all them places. Why you living there? And you coming up in the country and say, you're sorry for Grenada destroying the ecosystem. You shouldn't live in this place. So all this kind of Mickey Mouse talk, I don't understand that. I'm not saying the environment shouldn't stay safe or whatever as it is for animals and so on, mangrove and okay, I'm not saying no. But what I'm saying with you guys, you living in places what was developed the same way that Levera is developing. And people have to live up in the north where we come, in the north of Grenada, and come in the south to work. Internal migration to make a living. This is why the south of Grenada have so much people. Why is the tongue of St. George itself hardly have people? So who are you fooling with all your nonsense stuff? You're talking about ecosystem, the environment, and all them things. Saving the animals, the birds, the fish. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know big in urban planning and all them things, but I don't know. But I'm just asking you guys some question with all your double standard. You guys don't practice what all you preach. You should come and live up in the rural area, in the bush. We have sand fly. Until when they clear up them area where the sand flies. And maybe you don't have sand fly again. You will still complain again. You understand? Because I read many years ago in some history of the Caribbean that there were manatee in all these islands. Even Grenada had manatee once. There's no manatee down the islands again. You have to go to Miami, Florida, up there to see manatee. Right? And if you look at the tongue of St. George, you could see that's a mountain. When you go in Springs, you see canoe tree. Canoe. Bois canoe. Blogger tree. I see blogger tree in Spring. Canmayo and all them things. Right? So that area once was forest. Right? And it looked like he used to get more rain because it's higher than down in the south where dry and hard. So then again, it's the same thing. In the man, Port Royal, in Port St. Louis, when they were developing that area, people say it's a bad thing. No, government making money with the yachts being docked there in winter time, plus people repairing docks and all kind of things. People living in the rural area and going walking in the south of the island. So maybe, or I believe, the project in Levera is good for the people of St. Patrick and St. Mark and St. Andrew and even from St. John Parish. Because somebody living in Victoria could have a job in Levera. Just as people live in St. David, southern part of St. David, and go and work in Pennsylvania. You understand? So when you guys talking about ecology and ecosystem and destroying this and in destroying that, most of us who migrate to the bigger countries and we're not going back home, most people, migrants, they purchase houses in new development area and live. Right? We had tundra forest or whatever you call it in Canada, and I don't know what in the United States what it is. So when we're talking, I don't understand. Nothing wrong with the Levera project. You want all of us in St. Patrick to go and live in Grenadians and GruGru and Frequente. Asking you the question again. Are you aware that Land Sapiens, GruGru, and all them place, because I saw it as a little boy. In Expo 69, I was a boy. Those place was just as Levera and Batway. When Gary came at Expo 69, I was a boy. I still remember there was a French battleship out in the ocean in St. George's, and some helicopters was coming on land, somewhere by the lighthouse or someplace, somewhere down in the GruGru Pennsylvania area there, and people were paying, I don't know if it was $10 or $20 for a ride on French helicopter. They were visiting. There was a French battleship out in the ocean there, just visiting. I saw that. Right? Those days the area was still bushy until Gary came with Expo 69. And then things change and things change. It's like the other day I heard they were talking about horse racing on Real FM radio in Sotters. And some of them on the program was saying Naboth Nayak is the one who studied the horse racing up in the St. Andrew area. Now the horse racing, there was a split between Steam Moon and Telescope. Right? And they come to have two race tracks up in St. Andrew. And they talk about there was racing, and they used to race in Queen's Park. But all they were focusing on was Naboth Nayak. But according to what I heard the elders said, they say S.A. Francis, the man who buy Grenadians estate, was the man who bring horse racing into Grenada. I don't know. Based on what I heard, it's not Naboth Nayak. I don't know. So anybody who want to doubt me could doubt me. But all I know, Naboth Nayak making money in my village Hermitage, buying nutmeg, and when the World War done, he sold the nutmeg and he buy Belmont Estate, then he buy Kubari, and he buys more estate. So the question is, was S.A. Francis was in Grenada before Naboth Nayak? So if S.A. Francis was in Grenada before Naboth Nayak, with all this money that he come with from the US, most likely maybe he was the first man who bring horse racing to Grenada. On that program, I heard it. So that up for him thing. So you had the Grenadians estate. So that means Grenadians was estate too. So when are you talking about development? Nothing wrong with the Levera project. We in the country have to eat our food too. You know what I mean? You want us to come in tongue and change our accent? You go stay up in the country and speak bad, like how we speaking. And we could get a little job. And I don't see nothing in that. A young man might be able to get a taxi and make a money. A fisherman go sell something for the hotel and the mud building there, you know. More houses go build, tradesman go get thing. Just like in the South. So I don't know why it's the big argument every time, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, this is me, Hudson Judge, but before I go, I was in Grenada yesterday. I had to participate, but somehow, I don't know what happened. The host of the program, I don't know if he was the host or if he was a regular artist, but even though he is the host. So I don't know what happened, and I left and I go. Because this is not how program works. If you have a program for you have artists or entertainers to participate in the program, it should be done properly, and the host shouldn't be taking break like if it's a soccer show in the night. Plus, you have children in the park. It's not the host should realize that it's not a adult show in the night. Anyway, but the Grenada there was nice still. But when you ask people to come to a show to do to exhibit their creativity, programs mustn't be changed, and you must get a host, not like a soccer show for adults at night, because you have kids in the park. Anyway, this is me, Hudson Judge. I gone till I come again. I gone, I'm out.